Good morning. Today we're going to take a look at Mailguard 4. Mailguard 4 is the latest version of our software that's put in place to protect your email system and protect you from both spam and phishing emails, and of course ones that contain viruses. Now, in theory, you should just be able to do nothing and relax and it'll take care of all the hard work for you. But in reality, the problem with phishing emails is sometimes they slip through the net, as is the nature of fish, I suppose. And also, sometimes emails that look a little bit like they're phishing or look a little bit like spam are actually emails that you want to receive, so they get caught by the net. The way this is resolved is within Mailguard. There is a quarantine, which will quarantine the emails before trashing them. And you're notified by default about what's held in your quarantine at 4 p.m. every day. Now, there'll be no point sending you an email every time you get a spam email, otherwise you might as well just receive the spam email. So for that reason, you set a particular time, which is by default set to 4 p.m. And if you've got any spam emails at that time, or phishing emails, or viruses, or other miscellaneous things that haven't come through, you receive an email giving you a brief description of what those things are. At that point, you can either decide to ignore them or go in and specifically blacklist them or whitelist them to either give them a no-go sign or to give them a go-ahead in future. So here I've got an Outlook folder open with a whole bunch of emails in it, most of which are spam anyway. The giveaway is the fact that it's our spam Outlook account. Amongst it, we've got some emails from the Mailguard system. Now, if I open up one of these no reply at JJ Systems emails, I can see what I've got here is a 5 p.m. notification telling me that there's something in my spam folder. Now, this just happens to be set for 5 p.m. because the times can be changed to whatever you like. And this is all in the experimentation stages, so it's set to 5 rather than 4. But what I can do here is I can look at the email and say, oh, it says info mail, it's from campaignmonitor.com, I don't want to receive it, and I can just ignore it. Alternatively, I can actually go and deal with that email. Now, there are links on the notification messages that you can follow, or you can just go straight to the website and go to login section and log into Mailguard 4 from there. And the login section looks a little bit like this. Now, I've already typed in the email address. If it's the very first time you log in, if you log in with your email address and your standard JJ Systems password, you might find it doesn't work straight away. If it doesn't work, that's absolutely fine. All you need to do is click on the reset password button, which will appear below here. Then you get a link sent to that email address. Follow the link, reset the password, oddly enough, and then you can log in as usual. The essential thing with this is that when you do reset the password, you reset it to your standard JJ Systems password, because that way then it reduces the risk of any confusion or any problems later on. So here's my email address. When I click on continue, as if by magic, a password box will appear. And by magic, I mean the kind of magic that is worth waiting for. I'm on a very slow internet connection. Just don't tell the computer. Anyway, there's the password. I typed it in so quick you didn't even see my hands move. Now when I click on login, you'll get the login screen. Not the login screen, we'll get the opening screen. That's what we'll get. You tell I can't do this for a living. Okay, so were we the kind of organisation that edited these videos, then this whole section would be cut out. Instead, just get me thinking about what would be nice, how nice it would be to have fibre optic where I live. Anyway, so here's the opening screen. It's all pretty straightforward. We've got this big chunk of clever stuff going on here, which is all very colourful and all very important. That's the email live tracking section. Like a lot of these sections, it's got a a little eye where you click on it, and it brings up information about the bit you're working on, and it has very quick access to get to a nice big help file. You can also get to it through the manual if you really want to know a lot more about things than you probably ever want to know. Down the side here, there's a few sections to work in. Not really many sections, it's very straightforward. But on the right hand side here, we've got a little collection of cogs. Not just a cog, there's 3 cogs. And again, we've got an eye, which tells us all about, well, it actually just tells us the version that we're using, to be fair. But that's a good one to click on first, the options button on the cogs. So in there, we can do things like change a password. And so, as I said earlier, the best thing to do is to have the password set to your JJ Systems password. That way you massively reduce the risk of aggravation later. We can change things like location and language, but generally speaking, this section should be unimportant to us. What else we got there? The API token, you really don't need to mess about with this stuff. This is for people that want to do links and things into things. Again, as an out of office note, you could use this for out of office, but the best way to do that is Outlook. That suits most setups in a better way. But this is the one thing in options that is worth knowing about. If I go to filter and reports, in here I can change how often I receive the report. I can change this to say I want my own delivery times, and I can set my own delivery times. So, for example, if you don't care about getting spam reports at the weekend because you don't want to get any emails at the weekend, if it's a work system, then you can just say, well, I don't want Saturday and Sunday notifications. If you're the kind of person that gets a lot of emails from sources that regularly get caught by the spam filter, then you might decide that you want to get a notification between 10 and 11 in the morning, not PM. And you might want one and 2 as well. So it just gives you the option to tinker. For most people, you never need to go into here, so you don't need to worry about it. But that's the options screen, and it's pretty much really just about setting the time of your reports. So back over here then, we have a button for log out, which is a great way to log out because it's on a button and it says log out. When you finish, click there. Then we've got the lists. Now here we have a selection of things that we've whitelisted and a selection of things that we've blacklisted. If we regularly get emails from a reputable company, like Lidl, for example, and they're getting caught in the spam filter, why? Who would associate Lidl with spam? Probably someone that buys spam from Lidl. But anyway, the important thing is if they were getting caught in the spam filter and we didn't want them to get caught, then we can just whitelist them. So I can literally type in the address that I want to be protected, and when I say type in, I mean click on insert and then type in the address. So for example, if I was emailing this one and my name was spam@virus-like-emails.com, and I definitely wanted to receive emails from this person, I can just click on submit, and that'll go on my whitelist eventually. The idea is, there we go, it just means that you can build up a list of emails that you don't want to get filtered. There are other ways of doing this. You can do this from the main screen, but if you suddenly think to yourself, hang on a minute, that might be suspicious, you can click on the little thing to the right of it and say delete and take it out of the whitelist. Delete. Click on delete like you mean it. It's exactly the same principle on the blacklist screen. I don't know if I've got anything blacklisted in here. Oh, we go. Yeah, campaign monitor. And again, if you're getting emails from a dodgy provider that you don't know the source of, the origin of, and you just don't want to see those emails anymore, just copy and paste their email address into there, or from the live screen you can just mark them as blacklisted. Easy as that. Okay, so out of this section into reporting and compliance. In here, we can click on email statistics and get some email statistics. Yeah, that's how exciting it is. I don't know, it's a nice feature. Maybe it will come into its own one day or something. We have had situations on the support desk where people say, yes, but how effective is your spam filter? How many emails does it actually catch? Someone might say that when they were whining about how effective it was because they'd got 2 emails that month. And we took a look and found that 4,000 emails to their account had actually been called that were all either phishing emails or viruses. And so I suppose the reporting thing is quite useful to some people, but on the whole, most of us just want the bad guys kept out and the good guys kept in. So, as it were. Anyway, moving on. That's a reporting screen. If you can't work out how to use it, then probably don't use it. You can just change the date range and change what it's looking for. But email live tracking, this is the important bit. Now, if you're used to using Mailguard 3, its predecessor, you'll be familiar with the concept of having a list of spam emails in your quarantine. However, this lists all the emails as opposed to just the spam ones. And by spam, I mean spam, phishing, virus, all those bad things. Malicious emails, that's what I'm saying. So this lists all of them, not just the malicious ones. But one slight confusion is it only lists them by the criteria that's set in this section above here. So, for example, this has got a date range of today. And so it's listing all the emails that the spam account has received today, which is a password reset I did earlier to make sure I could log into this screen. Now, if I want to see all the emails of last week, then I need to click on the date range and, oddly enough, change it to, let's say, well, I would say last week, but I'm just thinking let's make it the month because that way it's a bit more interesting. So this month, of course, that's only this month for today. If you're watching this on YouTube, then this is probably a long, long time ago. Anyway, I can scroll down and click on specific times and things if I really want to be pedantic, but I think that gives me the general idea. So it took a few password resets because I was in the wrong email account when I was doing it. Anyway, down here are all the emails. We can do further things up here to filter them. So, for example, if we take a quick look, we've got status here with a little tick under it. That's telling me that it's been delivered. That's telling me that it's a genuine email. Then we've got the campaign monitor one. And if I hover over that, we can see it's been detained. In other words, it's been considered to be a bad email. Well, we know that's the case because I've already blacklisted that email address, so that's being called specifically. And there's another one here, our campaign monitor again. What else we got? I don't even know who campaign monitor are. Yeah, in fact, they're the ones that are responsible for all the bad emails that I've received in the last month on this account. I'm just going to run you through some other things about this screen now. I mean, down here you've got some nice, pretty statistics, which might be interesting to some people. I don't know. Here you've got more fine-tuning settings where you can decide which emails you want to see. We can filter it by size, delivery status. We can filter it to look at the incoming and the outgoing emails. I mean, I suppose you could just say, I want to see all the ones that have been rejected. Oh, there's no rejected emails. Even the rejected ones have been rejected, or the ones that have no status. Go on. Or the ones that have been deferred. I'll just give you all of them. Anyway, you can change the delivery status so you can see different things down here. You can also change what you see by, it's a bit of a time delay, like I say, that's my internet connection, sorry. You can also change what you see by pressing these buttons in. Now, at the moment, they are all illuminated, and therefore it's showing all different types of emails. But if I was to press clean, that button will become unilluminated or depressed. Oh, it will cheer up soon. But that means now it's only showing info, mail, spam, content, blah, blah, blah. basically it categorizes the messages based on what they look like or what it knows from your whitelist and blacklist information. Info mail, is inoffensive spam. Spam's unsolicited marketing. Content means that it's found something a bit dodgy in the email, potentially dodgy, might be okay. Virus, well, I think that's a bit of a giveaway. It's got a virus in it. This button, if that's the only one that's illuminated, then it'll only show things that are considered bad by using the advanced threat protection. Initially, I thought that might have been something to do with tennis, but no, it is advanced threat protection, and that's just something that is double checked and advancedly protected against. Anyway, and that one's for rejected emails. But I'm going to click on this again because I want to see all the messages, just so that I can pick on somebody and mark them as a bad message. Again, there'll be a bit of time delay because of my super fast dial-up internet connection. It's not really dial-up, it just feels like it. Okay, so if we scroll down and pick a message, I haven't really got much to go with there. I might have to expand that date range to like last 3 months. That'll probably do it. Good time for a cup of tea. So let's scroll down. You notice little stats down here change a bit, which look quite quirky. Oh really? I've had nothing in the last 3 months. If I say this year, it's going to take ages. Okay, so of course this system's only been in place for a month, that's why. Again, this would be a great bit to edit out if we're in the business of editing the emails afterwards. So when I look at a message, I can instantly say, oh yeah, that's fine, it's come through as fine, that's great, that's, I don't need to worry about that, everything's fine and dandy there, and this one's been blocked, but that's okay because it's something that I want blocked anyway. However, if I wasn't sure, what I can do is go over to this right hand side. Now, if I click on this little arrow that points to the right, it gives me some options. First one is blacklist the sender. Now, that's a great option if straight away you say, right, I don't want to get any more messages from this sender. I won't do that now because if I do that, I won't get any messages from the software that's doing the blacklisting. But I could blacklist it. Or if I've got a message that's been quarantined or held back because it looks like spam, I can click on this and it'll say whitelist the sender and deliver the email. So then the email will actually turn up in my Outlook, and in future, when that sender sends me an email, they'll come straight through without any hassle. Now this one I can report as spam. Now, there's a slight subtle difference between reporting it as spam and blacklisting it. I could be blacklisting it because it could just be, I don't know, an organisation that I don't want to hear from anymore. I'm not interested in their products, I'm not interested in their services, or I just don't want to receive communications from that person for some reason. Whereas reporting it as spam is actually saying this is an organisation that is sending out spam, and therefore everyone should be aware of this and should be protected from it. So there's a difference between saying something is spam and saying that it's just someone you don't want to get messages from anymore. For example, you could have an automated response that you're getting to tell you that the backups are complete, that everyone else in the organisation wants, but you don't want, and you could blacklist it. Not that I would do such a thing. But reporting it as spam has a whole different set of implications. Reporting it as info mail is sort of similar, but it's not saying it's malicious, it's just saying that it might not be of any interest to you, it might be rubbish, and therefore you need to confirm that you want it. Or you can just say deliver the email. You say, I'm not sure what it is, just deliver it because I didn't receive it. And that's normally when bad things happen. If you're not sure, that's a great time to call the help desk. But the final thing we have here is the info button. Now this is sort of useful. What it allows us to do is to click on it and then scroll down and take a look at the contents of the email. I say it's sort of useful because it doesn't show the whole email, but it shows a bit more detail, and sometimes you can look at it and go, hang on a minute, I recognise some of those words. That sounds like a perfectly valid bunch of things, and therefore I want to receive that. Or you might see something written in a foreign language that sounds really scary and dangerous, and you might think, actually, I don't want to take any chances with that. But that's the info button. You can just click on that to get more information. But this is the area where you'd look at your emails and say, oh, that's where that one went. I must have accidentally said I didn't want to receive that. And then you can just open it up and say, deliver the email, or say whitelist so I'll always get them in future, and deliver it. And that's pretty much it. And like all of these things, if you have any questions about it, just give us a call.